Chapter 551 Chapter 551, I'll humiliate you till death. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_. At this moment, Lin Fan was bursting with joy. He was going to use the strength he sucked on his mother's titties with to let the sovereign King Wei understand the true horrors of what it would be like to look down on yours truly. As to why the sovereign King Wei would agree to it suddenly, Lin Fan did not want to think too much about it anymore. At times, luck was an integral part of one's strength as well. Who knew, the sovereign King Wei might have been mesmerized by his handsome looks, and found himself unable to reject such a suave man. Lin Fan only required a single thousandth of a second. Swinging out with his left hand, it was as though he possessed a boundless amount of power. Speed was the essence. This unparalleled speed surpassed everything as it tore through the void, leaving the sovereign King Wei no time to react at all. Come on out, my 9-5 legendary brick, time's up. Instantly, the sovereign King Wei hollered out as a massive amount of energy burst forth from his body. His eyes shone with a bright gaze. It was as though he could kill off this ant before him 1,000 times and more with just that single look of his, without having to use any of his own strength. Piak! This sweet, crisp sound rang out like the tunes one would hear of in the heavens. Floating through the air, they echoed within Lin Fan's ears. Just as the sovereign King Wei was about to strike out and kill this ant of a human, he found his head spinning rapidly and his consciousness clouding up, into a daze, thud. Without any sensation, he collapsed onto the ground. Lin Fan burst out laughing wildly at the scene before him. In fact, he was laughing so wildly that he even began to cough out. Sovereign King Wei, you piece of trash. How dare you fight against yours truly? See, who's the dumb F***ck now? Looking at this mighty and imposing sovereign King Wei collapsed like a dead dog before his face, the feeling was immensely pleasurable for Lin Fan. This was a super mega boss, at the divine celestial level 7, all in one state. To think that he would be lying before yours truly like this. Rearing his head up into the sky, yours truly's eyes were brimming with tears of joy. Did yours truly have an easy path coming to where he was today? Definitely not. Lin Fan stomped on the sovereign King Wei's face with his foot and hands akimbo on his waist. If only his massive audience were beside him right now. But, what a pity, there was only him and the sovereign King Wei in this empty place. Sovereign King Wei, yours truly has told you beforehand. 2 moves, that's all I need for you to end up like a dead duck. How about now? Do you finally submit to my might? Lin Fan burst out laughing in exhilaration. Nothing could compete with this feeling at all. Even though he was only mumbling to himself right now, it still did not diminish the level of joy he was feeling. Time to see what capabilities you've got. Lin Fan rubbed his lower chin. Extracting his eternal axe, he slammed it down at the head of the sovereign King Wei. The edge of the eternal axe was sharper than what anything could ever hope to defend against. However, the moment it landed on the sovereign King Wei's head, it clanged loudly, as though it had just been slammed against a piece of metal. Sparks flew at the collision spot, leaving only a single white dent. Holy F***ck. That's tough. Seems like the defenses of someone as powerful as such must have long defied the heavens. After this experiment, Lin Fan understood that it must be practically impossible to cross the gap of difference with these many levels. After all, if he couldn't even break through this guy's physical body state, what else was there to speak of? Hey, well, since this is a rare opportunity, it's time to train up this fella then. Lin Fan's eyes shone brightly. After all, if he were to kill such a big boss just like that, it'd be quite the waste. Twisting heaven and earth, true origins crushing kick, black tiger steals heart, etc. All of these skills had yet to level up just yet. It'd be a real shame if he didn't make use of such a great opportunity to properly train them up. 3-headed and 6-armed faceless sky demon, thunder trainer king, Zigwang, Long Zan, big ancient demon, all of you guys, come on out. Lin Fan hated it the most when there were no audiences while he was training up. But things were good right now, since he had all these weapon spirits with him. Is this the sovereign King Wei? The moment the Marquis of Despair Zigwang and Long Zhan came out and caught sight of the ancient race being lying on the ground, they revealed a look of shock. How about this? Am I not powerful? A small fry like this is someone I can settle in a move or two. Tossing his long locks back, Lin Fan replied imposingly. Bravo, master. Bravo. The Marquis of Despair and Long Zhan nodded their heads silently. They had not expected their master to be this powerful, such that even the sovereign King Wei wasn't his match at all. This was the epitome of terror. The moment Thunder Trainer King caught sight of a heaven-defying existence such as the sovereign King Wei, a look of lust spread across his face as well. He couldn't help but tighten his grip on that lightning whip in his hands. Right now, he was just resisting the impulse to train up the sovereign King Wei. Don't even think of training him up. Lin Fan dismissed the thought from the Thunder Trainer King's head straight away. Who knew what the sovereign King Wei would do once he was in an awakened state? Even if Lin Fan were to strike him with twisting heaven and earth, Black Tiger Steel's heart or True Origin's crushing kick, he had no confidence to guarantee that the sovereign King Wei wouldn't just disregard the pain entirely and retaliate, killing him with a single strike. Therefore, there was no way Lin Fan was going to take that risk. Taking a single look at the sovereign King Wei, the big ancient demon cast his glance to one side immediately. For him, someone such as the sovereign King Wei wasn't worth his attention at all. The only ones who could bother him were the utmost beings of the ancient race. Hey, suddenly, Lin Fan broke out with a bright chuckle as he circled around the sovereign King Wei's side. Round and round, he took a closer inspection. There's a storage ring. Lin Fan took the storage ring of the sovereign King Wei excitedly. For someone this powerful, the treasures that he possessed must definitely be extremely shocking. The moment Lin Fan opened up the storage ring of the sovereign King Wei, he was blinded by the items he saw within. Within that storage ring were countless Dao weapons. In fact, there was even a row of utmost treasures. But, just as Lin Fan was about to celebrate his immense luck, all the Dao weapons and utmost treasures within the storage ring shone brightly. It was as though they could sense that it was an outsider that had opened the storage ring, and were all ready to kill Lin Fan. Holy F***ck, without any hesitation, Lin Fan closed the storage ring shut immediately. That was scary. Lin Fan could feel a chill down his spine as he wiped off the beads of perspiration on his forehead. If he were to be charged at by these weapon spirits, he would definitely be dead for sure. Highs. To think that I can only watch from afar and not have them for myself. This is infuriating, Lin Fan huffed out. But it didn't matter. The biggest prize right now was the sovereign King Wei. As for the items within the storage ring, he would just have to wait till his personal strength was raised high enough for him to take down all the weapon spirits with ease. It was time to start cultivating. Lin Fan handed his 9-5 legendary brick over to his 3-headed and 6-armed faceless sky demon. His duty was to slam down on the sovereign King Wei's head every 1 minute to prevent the latter from waking up. Slowly, Lin Fan spread out the sovereign King Wei's legs widely. Closing his eyes gently, his aura was raised to a maximum right now. By the time he opened his eyes, a bright flash shone out. I'll kick. That leg was slammed right at the sovereign King Wei's groin. In fact, the speed of his kicking went so fast that the only thing one could see by now was a shadow. Every single second, Lin Fan kicked almost thousands of times. Ding, True Origins crushing kick experience points plus. Ding, True Origins crushing kick experience points plus. The notifications of the system were relentless right now. Every single second that passed brought for him a sea of experience points. Lin Fan could clearly sense the true skill seed within his body expanding rapidly, as the power level of True Origins crushing kick spiked vertically. Pleasure. True pleasure. At this moment, Lin Fan smiled. However, the sovereign King Wei was in a state more tragic than ever. Even though he was in a state of unconsciousness, without any feelings at all, that object between and groin was expanding in size. It was growing so big that it seemed it could explode at any moment. Translators thoughts lamb_lam_. Actually, I'm really dying to know if Black Tiger Steel's heart would evolve to a new skill. Can't wait for that. Cheers. Chapter 552 Chapter 552 Frenzied Cultivation Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_tragic. This was extremely tragic. For anyone to fall into the hands of a sicko such as Lin Fan, the outcome would be utterly unimaginable. Ding, True Origin's crushing kick has leveled up. Lin Fan was smiling right now. Each time he leveled up, he would feel the size of the true skill seed within his body expanding. Lin Fan had taken a long time to raise his balls kicking into the True Origin's crushing kick that it was today. By now, every single level required a *T-load of experience points. If not for the fact that the Sovereign King Wei was this strong, leveling this skill would definitely be harder than ascending the heavens itself. By now, the true skill seed of the True Origin's crushing kick was churning furiously within Lin Fan's body. Each time it swiveled, it would absorb in a large amount of energy. Under the nourishment of the energy, the true skill seed increased in size. Time passed by the seconds and minutes. In fact, Lin Fan was getting a little tired of kicking by now. This was especially the case given how grotesque the Sovereign King Wei's crotch was looking. To think that the great Sovereign King Wei, who was under the direct command of the utmost being, would be subjected to such cruel torments. If news of this were to get out, tons of people would be scared to death because of it. Each time Lin Fan dished out his kicks, the Marquis of Despair Zigwang and Long Zhan would wince a little, as though it was really difficult for them to watch this. On the other hand, the Thunder Trainer King was watching wide-eyed, without shifting his attention at all. It was as though he was taking the chance to learn a new method, as those shifty eyes of his shone with an absolute brilliance. At this moment, Lin Fan's actions came to a stop. He could feel that if he were to carry on with his current path, the Sovereign King Wei's groin would truly explode. It was time to train up some other skills. Black Tiger Steel's heart had been ready from the start. Without any hesitation, Lin Fan immediately shot out both of his fists like twin dragons. All punch and all punch, Lin Fan was going at a good pace as the Sovereign King Wei's body thumped up and down under the rapid fire. Due to this, the experience points of Black Tiger Steel's heart were skyrocketing as well. The true skill seed spun wildly as its power level spiked. Ding, Black Tiger Steel's heart has leveled up. Ding, Black Tiger Steel's heart has leveled up. Huff, Lin Fan heaved out a sigh deeply. This was the first time he was having such a pleasurable time leveling up. Seemed like the Sovereign King Wei was really useful after all. Even if he were about to die, he could still contribute to the masses. What a glorious event his death would be. Once Lin Fan was done with his Black Tiger Steel's heart training, countless sword wills burst forth from his body. Firmament sword. By now, Lin Fan could produce 4 different types of sword wills. Based on Firmament sword's highest state of being, it could produce 9 different types of sword wills. However, with the help of the system, Lin Fan was sure that he could definitely raise it to new heights. Firmament sword, poke him down, PSHEW. PSHEW. Just like that, sword wills filled the skies as they bolted down cruelly towards that swollen groin of the Sovereign King Wei. Ding, experience points plus 100,000. Ding, experience points plus 100,000. Ding, Firmament sword has leveled up. Ding, congratulations on obtaining the 5th sword will. Before long, Lin Fan heard the notification from the system, bringing joy to his heart. Indeed, leveling up was pretty fast right now. However, this was far from enough. He must definitely squeeze the Sovereign King Wei dry of benefits. The 5th sword will was made for reaping. Multi-sword burst. In the blink of an eye, countless sword wills appeared in the void and shot down like meteors under Lin Fan's control. PSHEW. PSHEW. This unparalleled sword will sliced at the Sovereign King Wei's body. However, this brought about no damage to the Sovereign King Wei's body. In fact, it couldn't even slice off a single strand of hair from him. Ding, Firmament sword has leveled up. Ding, congratulations on obtaining the 6th sword will. Ding, Firmament sword has leveled up. Ding, congratulations on obtaining the 7th sword will. Under this flurry of strikes, the 7th sword will of Firmament sword was cultivated. 7 different sword wills, each with their own unique differences. Naturally, the power produced was different as well. The moment Lin Fan had cultivated the 5th sword will, he was able to start unleashing the full potential of Firmament sword. the reaping sword will, the void sword will, the destruction sword will. Despite hearing the notifications from the system, Lin Fan continued relentlessly without stopping, trying to see if he could cultivate out the 8th sword will. For most people, cultivating firmament sword would require them to comprehend the sword will before cultivating it out. However, for Lin Fan, if he couldn't get to comprehend it, all he had to do was dump experience points at it. Ding, firmament sword has leveled up. Ding, congratulations on obtaining the 8th sword will. The instant he comprehended the 8th sword will, all the other sword wills vibrated immensely. It was as though they were undergoing some change now that they were cultivated to a new higher state. Ding, congratulations on comprehending the emptiness sword will. Suddenly, the true skill seed of firmament sword began to churn and underwent a spontaneous change, turning into the shape of a longsword. Shing. Suddenly, something happened that blew off Lin Fan's mind. To think that the emptiness sword would manage to slice the sovereign King Wei's skin. Even though it was just slightly ripped, this was still no doubt an improvement to Lin Fan. Indeed, there's nothing between the heaven and earth that could be sharper than a sword will, and just as Lin Fan was about to go on and cultivate the 9th sword will, he realized that no matter how much he struck out, the system did not gain any bit of experience points at all. Seems like the sovereign King Wei can't make it anymore now. This 8th sword will should probably be the limit right now. If I want to cultivate the 9th sword will, it seems as though I would have to thoroughly comprehend the emptiness sword. Lin Fan had already managed to comprehend the meaning of everything with ease. Hence, Lin Fan stopped with his training of firmament sword and went on to the others. Doomsday Calamity Fist. Demon God Wheel. Firmament. All of these skills burst forth from Lin Fan, and the practice target for them was none other than the mighty the sovereign King Wei. Under the repeated blasts of Lin Fan, signs of cracks began to show up on the sovereign King Wei's body. Even though they weren't really visible, they did exist nevertheless. Seemed like the sovereign King Wei's body truly couldn't withstand it after a certain point. With this, Lin Fan understood that this should have been the way it was. Given time, even a single dripping drop of water could penetrate through a piece of rock. No matter how tough the sovereign King Wei was, his body would eventually give way. All the 10 true skill seeds that Lin Fan was cultivating right now expanded enormously, giving off power way greater than before. Given Lin Fan's current strength, even though he had yet to cross over to the Divine Celestial state, he could definitely take down a Divine Celestial Level 1, true state being. This was the result of his tireless hard work. The Marquis of Despair Zigwang and Long Zhan were just looking at Lin Fan with their mouths wide agape. They had not expected Lin Fan's powers to be this great. In fact, all the skills that he was using were extremely powerful. If not for the fact that his cultivation state was still pretty low right now, all his skills would definitely result in a devastating impact. Even though the Marquis of Despair's cultivation state wasn't that high, he did have a pretty wide knowledge of the world, given his reign as an overlord for the past thousands of years. By the looks of it, unless his master were to die an unfortunate death somewhere in the middle, the destruction of the ancient race would definitely not be a mere dream if he were to continue growing at this rate. All right, time to kill that sovereign King Wei, Lin Fan laughed coldly. It was time for the main show now. Since normal methods couldn't kill off the sovereign King Wei, there was only one thing left to do. Heaven and Earth Smelt. Chapter 553 Chapter 553, Does it hurt? Do you submit? Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ The heaven and earth smelt stood tall between the heaven and earth. Lin Fan sighed as he grabbed the sovereign King Wei by the ankles and dragged him along. To think that the mighty and peerless sovereign King Wei would be dragged by Lin Fan like a dead pig right now. Even till the final moments of his death, he wouldn't know how he died. This could be described as nothing but a tragedy. The Marquis of Despair Zigwang, Long Zhan, and the others stared at their master blankly, wondering what he was up to. The 3-headed and 6-armed faceless sky demon opened the lid of the heaven and earth smelt. Master, can you let me play with him for just a bit? As though he was about to lose something really important to him, the Thunder Trainer King was filled with reluctance. Nopey dopey, Lin Fan replied heartlessly and decisively, without a single bit of hesitation, causing the heart of the Thunder Trainer King to break. For the Thunder Trainer King, his master was just a man without any sense of human emotions. Why couldn't he understand the virtue of sharing resources? But to Lin Fan, he was just cussing in his mind. Train his mother. Who knows what in the world would happen if he had allowed the Thunder Trainer King to train the Sovereign King Wei. If the Sovereign King Wei were to wake up halfway through and come at him with that immense and peerless strength, who could Lin Fan complain to about that tragedy? With that, Lin Fan tossed the Sovereign King Wei into the heaven and earth smelt. Bam! With that, the lid of the smelt slammed shut as the lone figure of the Sovereign King Wei laid within. Haha, Lin Fan was relaxed right now. He felt as though he could fly up in the air from all the joy. This was the best feeling ever. Seemed like that was about it for the divine celestial powerful being, Sovereign King Wei. To think that he would dare to seek out yours truly for vengeance. Courting death. Lin Fan did not smelt the Sovereign King Wei instantly. After all, there was still a bit of indignance that he had yet to unleash. Later on, when the Sovereign King Wei were to wake up, he would definitely mock the latter thoroughly. 1 minute later, Sovereign King Wei was beginning to stir up from his slumber. The moment his eyes opened up, he burst into a maddened holler and slapped out. This single slap possessed a boundless amount of strength within it. However, because he was within the heaven and earth smelt, there was no impact at all. Where in the world am I? Damned human, where have you gone to? Right now, the Sovereign King Wei was really blurred and confused, not knowing what in the world was going on. Even if there was some secret technique to knock him out, there was no way it could have knocked out his essence spirit. WHO? Just WHO in the world is there? Sovereign King Wei observed his surroundings. This seemed like the insides of a treasure. The golden walls shone with a bright brilliance. However, the thing that shocked the Sovereign King Wei was the fact that his slap could not even rattle the place at all. Sovereign King Wei, you can stop with your futile struggles. Within this place, even if you were to unleash everything you've got, you would never be able to break out of it. Looking at the helpless look on the Sovereign King Wei's face, Lin Fan laughed casually. WHO? Are you that human? The moment he heard this voice, the Sovereign King Wei's face crumpled up as he hollered out sternly. At the same time, he frowned. How the hell did he end up here? Also, where in the world was this place? That's right. Yours truly had already made himself clear. I can definitely take you down within just 2 moves. Do you believe me right now? At times, one mustn't be too haughty, especially if they're an ancient race being such as yourself, Lin Fan replied calmly. Right now, he was the star of the show. The life and death of the Sovereign King Wei were in the palm of his hands. There was no way he could escape. B*****stard. How can that be? I am Sovereign King Wei, the direct underling under the command of the utmost being. How can I be taken down by a mere human such as yourself? Sovereign King Wei was thoroughly riled right now. This was an utter humiliation for him. In that instant, the Sovereign King Wei's body burst forth with an immense energy. This surge of energy was stronger than anything anyone could imagine, as it struck straight at the heaven and earth smelt. At the same time, he thrust his essence spirit into the void, desperate to break out of this place. However, to his fright, this place seemed to be cut off from the outside completely. No matter how much energy he exerted or how many skills he cast, he just couldn't get himself out of this place. Impossible. Impossible. That imposing demeanor on the Sovereign King Wei's face disappeared suddenly. Replacing it was a look of utter fear. He could not believe that there would be such a treasure within the world that could block out his path forward. In fact, to think that such a treasure would belong to a human. HMPH, nothing is impossible in this world. In the hands of yours truly, even if you're a godly existence, you will have to die in this place while bearing your regrets. Lin Fan smiled brightly. Nothing could compare with his happiness right now. At the same time, Lin Fan was heartened that he had the system with him. Otherwise, he would have died a long time ago without knowing how. Sovereign King Wei was an existence that defied the heavens itself. Someone who had trodden over all the other ancient race beings and was of a divine celestial level 7, all in one state. This was the strongest ancient race being that Lin Fan had ever encountered. At the same time, this made Lin Fan painfully aware of the strength of the ancient race utmost beings. They were definitely existences that had surpassed even the 10 levels of divine celestial cultivation states. Seemed like he still had to be careful from now on and not let something like today happen yet again. By now, Sovereign King Wei had calmed down. Ant-like human, even though I do not know what sort of trickery you have engaged to get your majesty within here, your majesty has to see for himself just what sort of capabilities you've got to deal with me. My powers are boundless, and I've got many tricks up my sleeves. I'll definitely break out of this place and kill you mercilessly. Ho ho, you still wanna act tough, eh? Seems like it's time for yours truly to show you the true powers of my heaven and earth smelt. Focusing his spirit, the smelt flared up as it burst forth with its powers. In that instance, all the unknown and mysterious smelting powers erupted out from the smelt. Arg! Under the might of the smelt, Sovereign King Wei held out sorrowfully. It was as though something was repressing his body right now and was disintegrating him from within. To think that even that ancient imperishable body of his would show signs of melting down at this moment. How could this be? Damned human! What have you done to your majesty? Sovereign King Wei bellowed. He could not believe that this human could achieve something like this. To think that a mere ant of desolate celestial cultivation state could possess such a treasure. Even if this were an utmost treasure, it shouldn't possess a power of this level. Human, let your majesty out right now. Otherwise, your majesty swears that you'll die without a corpse, Sovereign King Wei screamed out. The pain that was rippling through his body was horrendous. Hey, let you out? Do you think that yours truly is as silly as you? But I've got to ask you. Does it hurt right now? Lin Fan sniggered sinisterly. B***stard. Your majesty swears that I'll rip you apart, Sovereign King Wei lashed out as the flames of hatred burned in his heart. He wanted to resist this devastating smelting force. However, it was as though the force neglected everything. I.O. Seems like you really love acting tough, eh? Seems like the pain isn't enough, eh? Looking at how brazen the Sovereign King Wei was behaving, Lin Fan could not tolerate it anymore. With that, he turned the smelting power up a notch. The heaven and earth swapped over as the Sovereign King Wei was like a piece of fish meat on a grill right now. He had no way of resisting at all. Under the might of this smelting power, he could only wail out in pain. Does it hurt? Do you feel good? Do you submit to me, human? I'll have you dead, Sovereign King Wei blared out malevolently. Even if your majesty were to die, I will have you accompany me, holy f***ck. Is this guy going to self-destruct? Looking at the state the Sovereign King Wei was in right now, Lin Fan's heart skipped a beat. Even though he knew that this heaven and earth smelt was strong, he did not dare to guarantee that it could remain intact from the Sovereign King Wei's self-destruction. If something were to be damaged in the heaven and earth smelt, it would be too late for tears. Human, just you wait. The utmost being will seek revenge for me, smelt. Suddenly, the heaven and earth smelt erupted with its fullest force as that sturdy smelting power was infused within the heaven and earth smelt. Lin Fan opened up his arms spread eagle and closed his eyes gently, awaiting that beautiful sound of the notification. The moment he killed the Sovereign King Wei, the experience points would definitely burst through the roof. Come on over, experience points. I'm ready. Chapter 554 Chapter 554, Explode and Explode. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ ding, congratulations on smelting, ding, congratulations on killing Divine Celestial Level 7, all in one state being, Sovereign King Wei, ding, experience points plus 3 million, ding, congratulations on leveling up, ding, cultivation state, Divine Celestial Level 1, true state. Upon hearing the notifications from the system, Lin Fan instantly felt a burst of power surging through his body. The true energy within his body was compressed into a bean-sized pearl. At the same time, he could feel his blood, tendons, and cells rushing towards this pearl as well. Bam! The pearl exploded suddenly as the fluid within flowed through every single part of his body. It was as though everything in his body had been concentrated into this fluid. His body seemed to be churning repeatedly. Lin Fan could evidently feel the power level within his body rising up. The moment Lin Fan's mythical parasol tree within his inner world felt this surge of energy, it began to germinate and grow even larger. Indeed, all things beneath a divine celestial are nothing but ants. One would only tread on the true path of cultivation upon reaching the divine celestial cultivation state. The living beings of the thousands of races out there were at the top of all the spirits of the world, as the energies of the heaven and earth culminated within. Upon entering the divine celestial cultivation state, one would open the doors of the so-called Emperor Forbidden Realm. The arc of wisdom is isolated, without limits for all powers. Upon entering the divine celestial cultivation state and breaking through into the Emperor Forbidden Realm, one's wisdom would be like an arc which could carry everything along with it, resisting all evils from penetrating through. Within Lin Fan's mind stood various figures of deity spirits. An image of Buddha was producing golden lotuses with a bright, golden glow, which removed all impurities in the world. In this state, one's powers would be boundless. Using one's wisdom as a foundation, they would carry forth with them all the energies of the heavens and earth. This was a mysterious and amazing feeling. If one had not experienced it for themselves, they would never know how wondrous this feeling could be. Complete, within Lin Fan's mind, a long river of powers began to flow down rapidly, filling up all parts of his body. Every single cell of his began to absorb this power at a frenzied speed. Those empty cells were now filled with powers and shone brightly like a crystal. This boundless power found itself replenishing every single portion of Lin Fan's body. A single wave by him was enough to cause an earth-shattering and devastating reaction. At this moment, his wisdom began to spike as well. The boundless amount of wisdom allowed Lin Fan to comprehend many more things. In fact, every single one of his skills were laid out before him in his mind right now. Every single skill that he had once learnt, every single thing that he had ever forgotten, all of them appeared in his mind in that instant. In this miraculous realm, Lin Fan could visualize multiple forms of his very existence. With that, every single Lin Fan was performing a set of skills on their own. Purging the impurities and collecting only the essence. Even if his skills could level up with the help of the system, there would still be unnecessary impurities gathered along his way up to the top. If he hadn't discovered them by himself right now, he might never be able to comprehend them fully. At the end of the day, one must always depend on oneself. The system can only be taken as a form of assistance and not a form of reliance. Every single thing that had slipped away from his memories were flashing by his head like a cinema reel right now. Lin Fan felt as though he had gone through multiple cycles of reincarnation at this moment. Opening the Emperor Forbidden Realm allowed Lin Fan to comprehend a world of logic. At the same time, his view of the system was gradually shifting as well. While the system was invincible, it wasn't invincible at the same time. It worked as an assistant. Lin Fan could control the system, but he could never allow the system to control him. The moment this thought appeared in Lin Fan's mind, he buried it down within his heart. Now that he had entered Divine Celestial Level 1, true state, his powers were way stronger than before by at least 10, no, 100 times. At the same time, the amount of energy that was gathered within his body was way more robust than before as well. Ding, congratulations on leveling up. Ding, cultivation state, Divine Celestial Level 2, realm state. Suddenly, all his powers went berserk as they gushed out madly. The surge of power had not ended just yet as he found himself ascending into a state that could only be described as mysterious beyond mysterious. With the wave of his palm, a massive surge of energy ruptured out. With his body as a center, it rippled out in a circular shockwave around him. He suddenly found himself aware of every single living being and thing in the vicinity. Every single move and action undertaken by anyone were within his knowledge. It was as though he was the one true God within this entire realm. Bigra, Black Tiger Steel's Heart, True Origins Crushing Kick, Thunder Trainer King. In the blink of an eye, Lin Fan released all his skills. Relieving themselves from Lin Fan's control, they turned into golden talisman papers and floated into the realm. Who reigned supreme? Suddenly, all the skills that had delved within the realm began to duke it out. This was a duel to determine who would reign as the king of the realm. Lin Fan slapped out with his palm. While it was a gentle slap, the amount of power possessed by it was immense, as he shattered all the talisman papers altogether. Fuse, it was simple for Lin Fan. He wanted to craft out the strongest realm personally. The impetuousness of Bigra. The imposingness of Black Tiger Steel's Heart. The crushing sensation on one's nuggets of true origins, crushing kick, etc. It was time to fuse all of them together to form the most terrifying realm ever. Under Lin Fan's command, all of these skills began to wizen up and fuse together obediently. In that instant, rainbow-colored pearls spread with bright light shimmering from them as they floated gently within the realm. Eventually, all of them rose up and diffused themselves within this misty realm. Suddenly, Lin Fan opened up his eyes as a bright beam of golden light pierced out at the world. He could see through everything now. Divine Celestial Level 2, Realm State. The rising amount of energy pleased Lin Fan to no ends. He had not expected to level up twice without any interferences just by killing the Sovereign King Wei. But, aren't the amount of experience points way too little? This wasn't Lin Fan's greed that was speaking. The question was, why in the world did a bloody Divine Celestial Level 7, all-in-one state powerful being provide so little experience points? This didn't make sense. No sense at all. Ding, congratulations on obtaining Sovereign King Wei's Paradise Shard. Ding, congratulations on obtaining Sovereign King Wei's Undying Bloodline, 1 drop. Ding, congratulations on obtaining Sovereign King Wei's Essence Spirit Shard. Ding, congratulations on obtaining Sovereign King Wei's Law Shard. Indeed, it was as I had expected. Someone as grandiose and mighty as the Sovereign King Wei couldn't possibly provide so little experience points. This should be due to the fact that he was smelted. As such, all of his cultivation state wasn't converted into experience points entirely, but were turned into remnants of his cultivation state's comprehension. Upon entering the Divine Celestial Cultivation state, Lin Fan had a much better understanding of things. He would have to spend a fair amount of time molding to every single cultivation state he was in, so that they could reach the peak status. By the time he was to enter the law state, the power of law within his body must definitely have reached its peak state as well. Therefore, the reason why he was stuck at the realm state right now was because his mastery of the realm state hadn't reached its peak yet. The key to him moving on to the next cultivation state would be to mold this current state into perfection. Seems like the system must have understood this point from the start. Hence, it did not convert the Sovereign King Wei into experience points entirely, but chose to leave his cultivation comprehension into remnant shards instead, so that I can use them to work on. The moment Lin Fan thought of this, every single doubt in his mind began to make sense. Paradise Shard, Divine Celestial Level 3, Paradise State. Usable, Undying Bloodline, able to raise one's physical body state. Usable. As for the remaining 2 items, they were items that Lin Fan could not make use of just yet. However, it would be good to keep them for the future. Use Undying Bloodline. Lin Fan started without any hesitation. After all, one's physical body state was of great importance. Ding, use Undying Bloodline. Ding, Eternal Immortality leveled up. Ding, Eternal Immortality evolved into Eternal God Body. Ding, Physical Body State leveled up. Desolate Celestial Upper Level. Ding, Eternal God Body leveled up. Ding, Physical Body State leveled up. Desolate Celestial Full Cultivation. Ding, Physical Body State leveled up. Divine Celestial Level 1, ha ha ha. This is amazing. Lin Fan was so excited that he was about to burst into tears. The boss was not the boss for nothing. To think that he would provide such rewards post his death. The spike of his cultivation state was just like a rocket bursting into the sky. Even his physical body state had bolted all the way up to the Divine Celestial state. Right now, Lin Fan's confidence towards the future was rising rapidly as well. As long as he continued on this path, he would definitely be an utmost god figure one day. Chapter 555 Chapter 555, His Terrifying Moves. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_degree. Within the center region of the ancient saint world, 8 splendid and majestic buildings stood towering over the heaven and earth. These 8 towers formed a circular shape. In the middle of these 8 buildings existed a black hole of unfathomable darkness. A dense series of light beams existed on the surface of the black hole that were strung together like the web of a spider. Within one of those towers, an ancient being was seated on his jewel throne lazily, as he twirled a spherical ball in his palm. This spherical ball was sparkling and translucent, while a gray light swirled within. Lord Utmost Being, Sovereign King Wei has died. Just then, one of the ancient race servants appeared from within the darkness. His head was lowered with a look of fear on his face, not daring to look at the utmost being seated on his jewel throne straight in the eyes. Okay. The ancient race being on the jewel throne let out a deep and soft sound. However, this servant clearly understood that the silence of the utmost being meant another thing altogether. The Lord was thoroughly angered right now. Lord utmost being, your underling here shall take his leave then. As though he was feeling repressed by the rage, the servant could not wait to leave this suffocating place immediately. Do you wish to be an overlord and look down on the masses as ants? Suddenly, the ancient race being on the jewel throne spoke up once more. The voice was hoarse and cold, without a single strain of emotion. It was as if all beings in this world were nothing but ants to him. Lord utmost being, I. The ancient race servant's face changed. He was emotional right now. However, it was mostly due to fear. After all, the Lord utmost being was the most fearsome existence for all the ancient race beings out there. Suddenly, a cold light flashed by. The mysterious bead that the ancient race being was toying with in his palms floated gently above the head of the ancient race servant. From this day forth, you shall be the sovereign King Wei. These were the words of this ancient race being, one of the 8 utmost beings. From that bead, a mysterious aura burst forth and caged the ancient race servant within. Suddenly, the ancient race servant howled out tragically as his body expanded crazily. It was as though something was trying to find its way out of his body right now. A terrifying surge of energy erupted out of his body. This aura was pretty similar to the sovereign King Wei of before in strength. Looking at the servant before him, the ancient race utmost being who was seated on his jewel throne burst out into laughter. Just who is it that could have killed your utmost's dog? To think that I couldn't sniff out that guy. Also, even that little bugger, the Marquis of Despair, has disappeared into thin air. Just where in the world is he? The utmost being of the ancient race rubbed his chin as though he was just contemplating something really casual. If Lin Fan were there to witness the scene, he would have frozen up immediately. After all, the utmost being of the ancient race was way too sick. To think that he could create yet another sovereign King Wei with almost no effort at all. What sort of psychotic strength should one possess in order to do something of this level? Right now, Lin Fan was relishing that massive amount of energy within his body. The experience of being in realm state was something he could never get bored of. After all, he truly felt as though he was the one true god within that realm of his. The realm possessed all sorts of skills. Fusing together into one, the amount of power that was emanated from the convergence was even more horrifying. This was especially the case for Bigra. Lin Fan did not believe that there could be anyone in this world who could defend against Bigra. As long as he entered this realm, a boundless amount of Bigra would surge out along with all sorts of heaven-defying skills. For anyone in this world, entering this realm would be equivalent to entering hell. Yours truly's path to an ultimate massacre is truly initiated today. Now that I'm at the divine celestial level 2, realm state, as long as I don't meet some sick psycho, I can probably duke it out against most other people. Lin Fan was excited beyond words. Standing between the heaven and earth, he reared his head into the sky and revealed a calm smile. It'd be better for him to leave this place as soon as possible. After all, the ancient race must have already been notified of the sovereign King Wei's death. However, since the heaven and earth smelt was isolated from the world itself, even if they knew that he had died, they wouldn't be able to uncover the identity of the killer. Despite that assurance, it'd still be better to move out of this place. Without any hesitation, Lin Fan shifted his body nimbly as he disappeared from the area. With that, Despair City was now just an empty city, without any dangers to the future. Now that Despair City was taken down, this was an incredibly big piece of news for those who were going to ascend from this day forth. This would ensure that their ascension would be much safer than before. Taking the beings of the thousands of races with them, the members of the 6 major sects appeared at a distant place. They're back. Some of the disciples who had been forming a defensive formation in their wait exclaimed out excitedly as they noticed the flickering of their formation. All of these disciples who had been patiently awaiting their return felt extremely emotional. The flicker dissipated. Looking at their surroundings, the rescued captives breathed in the fresh air around them. Now that they were far from that place of endless torments, they could not help but clamor out in excitement. Surveying his surroundings, Dulong heaved a sigh of relief as well. "Brother Du, congratulations on your return." From the distance, a middle-aged man with a sturdy aura was beaming on Dulong's return. However, there was a slight look of incredulity on his face, as though he was finding this to be somewhat unbelievable. The moment he caught sight of the beings of the thousands of races and all the disciples who had gone for the expedition returning safe and sound, he was extremely bewildered. Hadn't this gone a little too well? Of course, it wasn't because he was hoping for any disciple to fall. However, all of them were well aware of the ancient race's strength. It was pretty much a miracle for all of them to return without a single casualty. None. What? The moment the middle-aged man heard this, his face turned into one of disbelief immediately. "Brother Wang, let us discuss about this matter later on. Right now, I've got to meet the Grand Master to report on this matter. Please arrange for our disciples to take care of them first." With that, Elder Dulong turned into a streak of light as he shot off into the distance. All of the beings of the thousands of races and the disciples of the 6 major sects were now sharing the tales of today's happenings with everyone else who wasn't able to be there to witness the entire show. All of their faces were filled with exhilaration. That mother**-seeking human king was way too strong. With a single slam of his hand, all of the million ancient race soldiers were killed instantly. That was some horrifying strength he had, huh? So strong. Did you guys truly witness this yourselves? The moment the other disciples heard this, their mouths dropped apart, finding it hard to swallow. "Yes, we have. Not only were the ancient race soldiers taken down, even the 4 commanders couldn't escape death in the hands of the mother**-seeking human king, Everyone who heard this took in a deep breath of cold air. At the same time, they were now immensely curious towards this mother**-seeking human king, hoping to be able to catch a sight of him one day. Even their own Grand Master wouldn't be able to take down a million ancient race soldiers just like that. Just what sort of an existence was this mother**-seeking human king? And just as these beings of the thousands of races were busy revering Lin Fan, something was going on. Far away from them, Lin Fan was completely stuck in this problem that had come before him. Translator's thoughts lam_wow this cliff though uck. No sign or clue of anything at all, slightly frowning face, though I've got to say, it's good that the scene is finally shifting over to the utmost beings. Chapter 556 Chapter 556, an ultimate move as such? Let me keep it hidden. Translator, lam_editor, Hitesh_ Initially, Lin Fan was prepared to make his way forward to check out the Sovereign King Wei's territory. To think that he would meet with such a thing along the way. In the distance, 2 groups of people were engaged in a fight right now. Well, they couldn't really be considered as 2 groups of people. After all, one of the parties involved consisted of only a single person. Furthermore, it was a lone woman. While Lin Fan could not make out the features of this woman, he could tell that every single move by her was earth-shattering and surged with power. In fact, she was even holding her ground well against the gang attack of 6 people. Divine Celestial Level 1, True State. Even though this wasn't a high cultivation state, the thing that shocked Lin Fan the most was that out of those people who were attacking the woman, one of them was even in the realm state. But, she didn't show any signs of being pushed back at all. This was pretty incredible. Seemed like there were truly many geniuses in the ancient saint world. Out of the innumerable beings of the thousands of races out there, many of them were ascended up from their lower worlds. All of these people who could ascend up here could only do so based on their own strength, and were considered geniuses back in their worlds. Therefore, it wasn't surprising that there could even be a few of them who were even more heaven-defying than others. However, to Lin Fan, of course, the humans of Xuanwang World were the geniuses amongst geniuses. Xuanwang World's heaven will was split cleanly into 2, causing a fluctuation in the natural laws of the world. Because of that, cultivating was extremely difficult. Anyone who could even cultivate up to a greater celestial full cultivation state could already be considered as a genius amongst all geniuses. Compared to all the thousands of worlds out there, it was undoubtedly way more difficult to obtain a greater celestial full cultivation state in Xuanwang world. Just who in the world is this woman? And who are those 6 as well? Lin Fan hid himself in the void. Seeing stuff like this, he would always have to hesitate. Heroes saving damsels in distress? This was a thought that had never ever crossed Lin Fan's mind. Most men who lusted after women would often court trouble and die without even knowing how they died. Also, both parties were not ancient race beings. They were all of the thousands of races. So, even if he were to kill them, he wouldn't attract any trouble at all. However, Lin Fan knew that there were good people amongst the beings of the thousands of races as well. If he were to kill them indiscriminately, he wouldn't be able to escape his conscience. Fairy Hong Yun. Hand over the stuff. The man who was the only divine celestial level 2 realm state being, hollered out. How can you guys strike out at me like this? We're all beings of the thousands of races. We should be standing firm against the ancient race together. Fairy Hong Yun was draped in a red skirt with wide sleeves. Her luscious long hair laid down on her shoulders, as she wore a jade belt on her arm. She gave off the fragrance of flowers while she stood firmly with her slender waist and pearl-like eyes. At this moment, her gaze was somewhat angered over the fact that she was surrounded by these 6 people. HMPH. I'll say it one last time. Hand over the stuff. Otherwise, I'll make sure to rip off all of your clothes and let you have a taste of how overbearing we 6 can be. The man in the realm state had brows that were snow white. His imposing aura rumbled, and with his hawk-like gaze, he reeked of a sinister feeling. Despicable thief. Fairy Hong Yun yelled out. Her jade belt danced up into the air and expanded out. This bloody bitch is only at the true state. To think that she could be this vicious, Wan Wujin cursed in his mind as his hand moved continuously. The 6 of them were from a notorious sect in the ancient saint world. Their actions were way more vicious and crueler than that of the ancient race beings. They would snatch every single thing they came across. As long as it would benefit them, nothing would escape their grasp. This time around, the 6 of them were traveling around the ancient saint world when they caught sight of a brilliant red flash in the distance. Chasing after it hurriedly, they caught sight of a talisman paper in the hands of this woman. After flashing with that brilliant red flash once more, the talisman paper dimmed down. With that, they garnered that this talisman paper must be something good. Furthermore, given the fact that this woman was a divine celestial level 1, true state being, their hearts of greed were stirred even more. Not only was she pretty, she had a unique treasure at her side. This was an amazing bargain. However, even after chasing for an entire day and night, they had discovered that even though this B***'s cultivation state wasn't that high, she had many tricks up her sleeves. Even with a realm state being amongst their midst, they couldn't even take her down. Bloody hell. Aren't these guys just trying to snatch over her treasure and kill her? Not only that, they want to rape her as well? These guys are way too vile. After observing the situation for a while, Lin Fan finally understood. To think that these 6 guys could be this evil. This was truly unexpected. Lin Fan was pondering right now. This woman had a treasure with her. Not only that, the treasure seemed pretty extraordinary as well. Well, of course, Lin Fan himself wasn't all innocent about stuff like killing others and snatching their treasures. However, all of those people he had killed were baddies. This woman wasn't a bad person. If he were to kill her and snatch her treasure, that would be pretty immoral. However, if he were to rescue her and let a plan follow through, who knew she might return the favor with herself as the reward or the treasure? This wasn't entirely impossible either. This was a deal that he could accept. And just as Lin Fan was contemplating about this stuff, the situation at the battlefield changed. The man in the realm state suddenly went berserk and opened up his realm. Indeed, this man's realm was pretty unique. Within it, there were many children from the thousands of races. They looked entirely innocent, but Lin Fan knew that all of these children were just putting on a pure facade. However, the shocking thing was that this woman was beginning to hesitate as she changed her tactics into just dodging and shunning everything, without striking out at the children. What in the world was going on right now? She couldn't be some sort of a Mother Teresa figure, could she? Savage. To think that you would use these children to cultivate your realm. Are you even a being of the thousands of races? How can you be crueler than the ancient race beings? The reason why Fairy Hong Yun could not bear to strike at these children that she was encountering in the realm was because all of these children were physical existences. Just as Fairy Hong Yun was in her moment of anguish, a child appeared behind her and slapped out. Instantly, this child transformed into Wan Wujin. None back when he had broken into Divine Celestial Level 2 realm state, he had felt some regrets over the state of his realm, feeling that it wasn't as grandiose and splendid as some others. However, right now, he was realizing the true strength of his realm. A stream of blood flowed down from Fairy Hong Yun's lips. Evidently, the injury was serious, as her aura began to wither gradually. Boss. Don't cripple this B*TCH. Otherwise, it wouldn't feel as pleasurable later on. A bald man remarked in jeer. Hee hee. A sinister laugh broke out from all 6 of them. You guys are merciless. To think that you would slay these innocent children. Fairy Hong Yun glared at Wan Wujin with hatred. Feeling pained over these children, her eyes were reddening as well. By now, Lin Fan was starting to understand everything. But what he could not understand was how this benevolent and kind chick could remain alive up till now. But, by the looks of the situation, this was about the time for yours truly to show up. Hee hee, little B*TCH, we're about to get more merciless from here on. With that, Wan Wujin grabbed out with his hand at Fairy Hong Yun. As though it possessed some form of demonic power, this hand of his spun in circles like a cocoon being spun out of silk, as it was about to peel everything off Fairy Hong Yun. Haha. Our boss's ultimate move is here. This B*TCH is going to present herself in her bare nudeness before us soon. Holy F*CK. The ultimate move of bare nudeness. The moment Lin Fan heard about this ultimate move, he almost exploded. Strike. He must definitely strike now. He must definitely not let a savage move such as this exist and show its face in the world. He had to keep it hidden in his arsenal, lest the masses are harmed by it. Instantly, Lin Fan moved his body nimbly, as an imposing aura appeared between the heaven and earth. Looking at that demonic arm, Fairy Hong Yun could feel her heart thumping faster. She had suddenly felt her body being sealed and freezing up, without being able to move a single inch. Despair. Right now, Fairy Hong Yun was beginning to feel despair. Death wasn't scary. However, if she were to let these guys ravish her, that would be a fate even worse than death. Under broad daylights and the watchful eyes of the heavens, how dare the 6 of you spout out such dirty speeches? This is really a disgrace to the morals of the world. Suddenly, a voice boomed out. As though it couldn't resist the force of this voice, that demonic arm of Wan Wujin began to rip apart and disintegrate. A formidable power rattled through the entire field. Translators thoughts lamb _ yet another classic appearance by yours truly. Hopefully this girl brings us forth to the next arc. Cheers. Chapter 557 Chapter 557, Little kids, recite after your king here. Translator, lamb_editor, hitesh_, who's there? Wan Wujin's face froze up. If the sonic boom could destroy his demonic arm, this powerhouse must definitely not be underestimated. However, he was that close to success right now. How could he allow anyone to interfere? Wan Wujin cast a look at the 5 other people surrounding him. Immediately, all 5 of them nodded their heads and moved out into the distance, forming a circular cage formation. May I know who you are, sir? Do you intend to go against us of the Evil Alliance? Looking at the figure up in the void, Wan Wujin asked in a grim tone. The moment Fairy Hong Yun heard the 2 words, Evil Alliance, her face changed as well. The Evil Alliance was well known throughout the entire ancient saint world. This was an alliance formed by many evil beings of the thousands of races, who would stop at nothing to commit their heinous crimes. Their forces were spread out across the entire ancient saint world. On the other hand, the leader of the Evil Alliance was someone who was extremely mysterious. No one knew who he was. However, all they knew was that there was once a combined assault on the Evil Alliance. The outcome of it was extremely terrible. Without even managing to catch a sight of the evil alliance's leader, they lost their entire forces with just a single heavenly crushing gigantic arm of his. To Lin Fan, it didn't matter whether this was the evil alliance or whatever they were called. The most important thing right now was to obtain that ultimate move, bare nudeness, into his hands for safekeeping. He had to ensure that a skill like this, which would disrupt the natural order of the world, disappeared entirely. Furthermore, given the current situation, there was a silly, pretty, rich, and weak woman who was about to fall prey into the hands of such evil men. As a righteous warrior, how could he not render his assistance at this critical moment? Lin Fan had to resist the urge to tell everyone, let go of that girl. I'll do it. The moment Fairy Hongyun caught sight of that figure in the void, her heart rattled a little. What an immensely superior and elegant aura this man possessed. Evil alliance and whatnot, all of you degenerates shall pay for your sins of today with death. Lin Fan's face was as per usual, as his image spiked to its peak with the current situation. Dear gentlemen, please be careful. The combined formation of these 6 people is really powerful. Fairy Hongyun warned Lin Fan warily. While she could not tell the cultivation state of this man, she could tell from his manners that he was an extraordinary man. At the same time, he was filled with righteousness in every single action of his. If he were to die an unfortunate death because he did not know of the strength of these 6 people, that would be a real pity. HMPH. To think that you would still dare to be so cocky at death's door. Wan Wujin cried out in anger as he bolted out towards Fairy Hongyun, intending to take her down as quickly as possible. The moment Lin Fan saw this, he exploded too. These guys were way too impudent. To think that they would dare to strike even in the presence of yours truly. They were truly looking down on yours truly. And to think that this chick would call him a gentleman. This was the first time he had heard anyone referring to him that during his entire duration in the pugilistic world. Her voice was pretty sweet as well, giving one a really mushy feel. Instantly, Lin Fan's body shifted and appeared right before Fairy Hongyun. Slapping out, he diffused Wan Wujin's attack entirely. Wan Wujin's eyes shone brightly as he hollered, strike, the heaven and earth, suppress from every single direction. Instantly, all 6 of them emitted a golden glow from their body as they delved right into the void. Weaving together, they converged down on Lin Fan. Dear gentlemen, please watch out. This is a unique sealing formation from the 6 of them. Fairy Hongyun called out hurriedly. HMPH. Seems like this B***chiz got some knowledge here and there as well. This 6-man sealing formation is a special move used by the Evil Alliance to trap our enemies. Within this great formation of ours, even if it were a powerful being who was in the paradise state, they wouldn't be able to break out of it either. Wan Wujin burst out in laughter. Lady there, do not fear. Lin Fan's face was calm right now. However, the fact that this young lady's face was looking tense was something that Lin Fan attributed to her lack of trust towards him. Emptiness sword will. Lin Fan raised his hand. Instantly, the entire sky was filled with a formless sword will, as though it had turned into a world of swords. This steady sword will pierced through the void. It was formless and invisible, and there was no way one could tell anything with their naked eyes at all. The faces of the 6 people from the Evil Alliance froze up. Even though they could not see the sword wills at all, the razor-sharp sword wills were stacked above their bodies like mountains, pressuring down on them. Arg! Suddenly, a series of tragic cries rang out. 5 of the enemies from the Evil Alliance were instantly sliced apart by the sword wills, without being able to resist at all. With that, the 6-man defensive formation broke apart instantly. Suddenly, Wan Wujin could feel a killing intent. His face crumpled up as he blared out. Realm. With Wan Wujin as the center, a pitch-black light screen started spreading outward in a circular fashion, as though it was about to swallow the entire atmosphere within. Fairy Hongyun was shocked as well on looking at how the man before her could kill 5 men with just a single raise of his arm. To think that this man would be this strong. However, the moment she noticed Wan Wujin unleashing his realm, her face turned pale, as though she didn't want to see that scene from earlier ever again. Bloody B****. How dare you kill members of the Evil Alliance? From this day forth, no one within this world will be able to save you from our wrath. Wan Wujin held out. To think that this man before him would be this strong. That sword will from earlier was really suspicious, without any form or body. However, the moment he unleashed his realm, he could sense a series of cutting sword wills slicing into his realm. Like the way moths were attracted to a flame, countless children leapt forth towards those sword wills, using their bodies as shields. Haha. I'm utter invincible within my realm. With all of my ghost toddlers forming an impenetrable wall, it's way too early for someone like you to even think of killing me, Wan Wujin lashed out. If this man before him could kill 5 divine celestial level 1 true state beings with a single move of his hands, that strength must definitely be of a divine celestial level 2 realm state. At this moment, Wan Wujin knew that he couldn't beat the enemy in terms of strength, especially so with Fairy Hongyun around. If the both of them were to combine forces, he would definitely perish right here. No, he couldn't let that happen, no matter what. He definitely needed to find a way to escape out of this place alive and report this back to the Alliance, so that they could people down to hunt these two. Trying to run? At this moment, Lin Fan discovered Wan Wujin's intent to run. Smirking coldly, he activated his own realm as well. Lin Fan had not thought up of a good name for his realm just yet. However, no matter what, he would have to give it a really domineering name. Lin Fan's realm began to expand rapidly, encompassing Wan Wujin within it almost immediately. The moment Fairy Hongyun caught sight of this realm, she frowned. She had a wide knowledge about the world, and therefore knew of all the realms that existed within this world. However, this was the first time she was witnessing a realm such as this. Complex, yet filled with mysterious marvels. This realm was shrouded in a mist, as though it was created by the heavens. However, through the mist, Fairy Hongyun could catch sight of various deity spirits seated within. Red, black, and purple. The myriad of colors was enough to confuse one's vision. Just how in the world was this realm formed? What? How is this possible? Just what in the world is this realm? Wan Wujin's face was losing color rapidly as he realized that his realm was being devoured by this expanding realm rapidly without any bit of resistance. Infinite soul-devouring toddlers, Wan Wujin hollered out as the massive number of children within his realm began to growl malevolently while they struck at Lin Fan and Fairy Hongyun menacingly. Once again, Fairy Hongyun's face froze up as her body shuddered slightly in fear. She wasn't afraid of Wan Wujin. However, she couldn't bear to strike down at these children. The thought of what would happen if she did caused her heart to clench in pain. All of you shall die under the might of my infinite soul-devouring toddlers. Wan Wujin was thoroughly riled right now. He was bent on having these two die under his might. Lin Fan grinned calmly, I'll hand the show over to you now. Instantly, Lin Fan's realm vibrated within itself as a tuft of smoke began to spread out. Instantly, the Thunder Trainer King appeared before the countless toddlers that were swarming forth. Haha. Here I was, thinking about how strong your realm could be. To think that it's just a single bald-headed kid. What can he even do? Wan Wujin could not resist his laughter. His battle intent soared up into the sky as this invigorated his fighting spirit and confidence. However, Wan Wujin's assumption was shattered almost immediately. That bald-headed kid wielded a thunder-filled whip in his hands. With a single crack of his whip, a flash of lightning burst forth. All of those malevolent toddlers suddenly froze up and stood on the spot blankly, as though they were bewitched. Wan Wujin was absolutely stunned as he screamed immediately thereafter, "Go, strike!" However, no matter how hard Wan Wujin tried to regain his control over them, those malevolent toddlers remained rooted, as though they were struck by some immobilizing skill. Gradually, those menacing looks on the uncountable toddlers began to change. They turned gentler. Before long, they were smiling with purity and innocence. Next up, Wan Wujin's jaws could practically drop seeing what happened after. The Thunder Trainer King opened up his mouth calmly, all right now, little kids. Recite after your king here. People at birth are naturally good, kind-hearted. Suddenly, Lin Fan's face changed as well. How in the world did the Thunder Trainer King know this *T? Chapter 558 Chapter 558 Thunder Trainer King's Academy of Electroconvulsive Therapy Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ People at birth are naturally good, their natures are similar, but their habits make them different. All of these ghost children began to recite phrase after phrase. With that, the vengefulness that was brooding in their hearts gradually dissipated. At the same time, those pitch-black clothes they were wearing slowly turned into a shade of pure white. With that, something even more shocking happened. From out of thin air, desks appeared one by one, and a book appeared on each of them. The cover of this book was none other than the three-character classic, Holy F***CK. What in the world is going on right now? Lin Fan was totally stumped. This had gone way beyond his expectations. What the hell was happening within his realm right now? Even though this realm was evidently created by him, why in the world couldn't he understand a single sh*t at all? This was way too incredulous. This wasn't even the tip of the iceberg just yet. One by one, all of the ghost children sat down on their desks while wearing these pure white student robes of ancient times. Carrying the three-character classic in their hands, they began to recite out the text while swaying their heads left and right. Those malicious expressions of theirs began to purify into one of immaculate innocence. At the same time, beams of bright light began to flow out from these ghost children. Fusing together, they culminated into a river and flowed towards the Thunder Trainer King. This is the karma of redemption. At this moment, Fairy Hong Yun was stunned. She had not expected a mysterious power such as the karma of redemption to exist on the face of this world. Karma of redemption? Lin Fan's brows creased as well, not really understanding where Fairy Hong Yun was going along with that. Legends have it that the ancient saint world has been around for a really long time now. Through the countless of millenniums, numerous civilizations have existed. The karma of redemption is a power that existed a really long time ago. To think that it would still exist after such a long period of time has passed. In fact, even those modern beings of the Buddha race wouldn't be able to comprehend the karma of redemption themselves. Fairy Hong Yun exclaimed in shock. How do you know about it? Lin Fan asked suspiciously. I read about it from books. She looked over at Lin Fan and replied. At that moment, a strange phenomenon occurred. A bright burst of light filled up the entire realm as the sky boomed out loudly. 12 unusual-looking incense of redemption appeared on the head of the Thunder Trainer King. These incense of redemption burned while emanating a really invigorating and fragrant scent. With that, a hand of redemption appeared out of nowhere as well. Holding up the 12 incense of redemption together, the hand dotted the lit part of the incenses at the head of the Thunder Trainer King. Suddenly, 12 burn scars appeared on the head of the Thunder Trainer King. However, the moment these burn scars appeared, yet another weird phenomenon happened in the air. The world was filled with golden lotuses while Buddhist tunes rang through the sky. The moment anyone heard these, their spirits felt instantly lifted. The Thunder Trainer King had turned holy all of a sudden, as a rainbow-colored divine light appeared on the back of his head. To think that this is the Bodhisattva discipline. The moment Fairy Hong Yun caught sight of this, she was trembling entirely, unable to stay still any longer. On the other hand, Lin Fan was utterly confused. How in the hell would he know what a Bodhisattva discipline was? This is symbolic of the highest order of the Buddha race, and represents its infinite potential, infinite wisdom, infinite heart of redemption, infinite power. Fairy Hong Yun was explaining something that had never ever happened in history. However, Lin Fan didn't understand a single hoot about what she was talking about. The only thing he could get out of her explanation was this: Thunder Trainer King was going to be seeking strong soon. Lin Fan had not expected the Thunder Trainer King to be capable of such feats. This was something he had never once thought about before. At this moment, the Thunder Trainer King started moving. Raising that tender hand of his, a flash of Buddha light appeared in the realm. From that, a majestic-looking academy appeared. However, the most jaw-dropping thing for Lin Fan was that a tablet was erected right at the entrance of this academy. Thunder Trainer King's Academy of Electroconvulsive Therapy, and the tagline was this: you deserve it, none, little kiddos, come over to the light. Come forth into the new era, into this academy, where you shall receive the education of love from your king here. The Thunder Trainer King called out solemnly. Yes, king. All of those innocent and nubile kids kept their books and folded their desks. As though they were converted, they entered that unknown academy. Suddenly, Lin Fan realized something terrifying. Just as the Thunder Trainer King was turning around, his lips curled into a sinister and beastly grin. This, Lin Fan did not dare to imagine any longer. He could not bear to think about the sort of education these kids would receive upon entering that mysterious academy. How could this be? How could all my children there break free of my control? Suddenly, Wan Wujin broke out in anger with reddened eyes. He could not believe everything right before his face. The moment all his children left for that academy, Wan Wujin realized that his realm was completely useless now with the loss of all those children. Just who in the world was this guy? What was that beam of light from earlier? Wan Wujin broke down. His heart was bleeding right now. To think that this realm that he had so painstakingly built would be destroyed by some unknown bald-headed kid. How could he endure this at all? Oh, poor lamb who has lost your way. Are you willing to receive your king's education of love as well? Just as the Thunder Trainer King was about to enter his academy, he realized that the security guard room at the entrance of his academy was empty. Because of that, he stopped in his tracks and turned around to look at Wan Wujin. Damn it. Damn it, Wan Wujin was thoroughly riled right now as he howled out malevolently, I'm going to kill you. Looking at everything before him, Lin Fan felt that he did not have to do anything anymore. It was as though he had truly handed over the whole show to the Thunder Trainer King right from the very start. At this moment, that stern and solemn Thunder Trainer King shook his head, highs. If I don't enter hell, who would? Since you wish to kill me, your king here shall let you kill me then. All I can hope for is that you would be able to find your way back before you lose yourself entirely in that endless abyss, find back your true self, your true heart. Look back for the kindness you once had in your heart and diffuse all of your hatred within. Let your king here bear all your burdens. The moment Lin Fan heard these words of the Thunder Trainer King, his brows twitched. Plot. This was without a single doubt a plot. How dare you snatch over my infinite children and destroy my realm? I shall take your life, Wan Wujin howled out in anger as he darted out towards the Thunder Trainer King in a frenzy. Looking at Wan Wujin, the Thunder Trainer King's face was unchanging. Placing his palms together, a bright Buddha light appeared instantly. This Buddha light shone through the entire realm and caged up Wan Wujin within it. Suddenly, Wan Wujin was beginning to realize that the bald-headed kid before his very eyes was beginning to grow in size and holiness. As though it was being chipped away by something, Wan Wujin felt the malice within his heart diminishing by the second. Lin Fan frowned. Just what in the world was this fella up to? However, something that stumped Lin Fan happened again once more. The moment that menacing Wan Wujin reached the face of the Thunder Trainer King, his face changed drastically, as though he was filled with immense regrets. With a single thud, he collapsed to his knees before the Thunder Trainer King. Oh, King. I have sinned gravely. I am willing to receive that noble and selfless education of love of yours. Wan Wujin was repenting sincerely right at the feet of the Thunder Trainer King at this very moment. And with that came the final blow. The Thunder Trainer King fondled Wan Wujin's head fondly and gently. Enter my Thunder Trainer King's Academy for electroconvulsive therapy. I guarantee that you'll turn over a new leaf. From this day forth, you shall be reborn as a brand new man. Follow my teachings, come on. Yes, Lin Fan's jaws dropped straight down to the ground. Just what in the bloody hell was happening right now? This was nothing as he had imagined. What the F***ck was going on with his realm? How did it produce things like these? Chapter 559 Chapter 559, Fire Water Secret Grounds Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ My Ultimate Technique, Bare Nudeness. Looking at Wan Wujin following the Thunder Trainer King into the academy, Lin Fan suddenly recalled this issue of unparalleled importance. Why the hell had he bothered leaving Wan Wujin alive till the end? It was all for that ultimate move, bare nudeness. But now that Wan Wujin had been converted by this Thunder Trainer King, Lin Fan would definitely fight it out with the Thunder Trainer King if he couldn't get a hold of that ultimate move later on. Just as Lin Fan was busy contemplating about all this stuff, Fairy Hong Yun's face was completely petrified. Even though she had a wide knowledge about things, this was truly the first time she had encountered a realm like this. A realm which possessed a consciousness of its own. How could this be possible? And, to think that there would be such a bizarre spirit residing within the realm. But, little did Fairy Hong Yun know that the Thunder Trainer King wasn't the only spirit that was residing within the realm. There was also the spirit of Bigra, and all sorts of other nonsensical spirits. This was a bloody strong realm, way too bloody strong. At this moment, Lin Fan was trying to communicate telepathically with the Thunder Trainer King secretly, for him to hand over that ultimate move, bare nudeness. This time around, the Thunder Trainer King had taken nearly every single benefit there was to it. Even though Lin Fan had killed 5 Divine Celestial Level 1, true state beings, the experience points received were not much. The thing that Lin Fan was coveting the most was that ultimate move of Wan Wujin. But right now, Lin Fan was pretty upset. The damned Thunder Trainer King wasn't replying to him at all. However, when Lin Fan looked over, he realized that the Thunder Trainer King was in the secret chamber, happily training up Wan Wujin. His methods of training were extremely cruel. It was as though the Thunder Trainer King was utterly relishing this precious moment after not conducting training for a long period of time. My sincerest gratitude for your life-saving act, dear gentleman. Could I inquire for your great name, gentleman? Breaking out of her stupor, Fairy Hong Yun asked Lin Fan thankfully. For the moment, Lin Fan decided to let the Thunder Trainer King be. He would wait till the Thunder Trainer King was done with training the other fella before asking for that skill. Right now, he should settle the matter at hand. This woman had a big treasure with her. Lin Fan wondered how incredible that treasure must be. I am Lin Fan. It is in my blood to render my assistance towards any injustice I come across in this world. Lady, we can make do with the formalities and thanks. Lin Fan waved his hand dismissively. However, he was busy thinking about how he should put his words across so that he could find out just what that treasure was. Curiosity would kill the cat indeed. Forget it, it's better to cut to the chase and ask her straight up, lady, I've noticed that these people were hunting you. It seemed as though the reason was due to this strange treasure that you were holding. Don't take this the wrong way now, but I'm just a naturally curious person. Hence, I'm really interested to find out more about it. I don't mean anything else. Lin Fan explained hurriedly, just in case the other party would think that he was a bad person as well. After all, how could someone as righteous as yours truly be categorized together with those greedy lowlifes? Not expecting Lin Fan to be this direct, Fairy Hong Yun chuckled out as well. Gentleman Lin, you've overthought things. Hong Yun here has never once thought of you as someone as greedy as them. Fairy Hong Yun laughed out. This is the treasure they were trying to snatch away from me. With that, Fairy Hong Yun held out a talisman paper. Immediately afterward, she began to explain without any bit of wariness towards Lin Fan at all. This talisman paper isn't any treasure of sorts. It is merely a directional talisman used to detect secret grounds. Secret grounds directional talisman? Lin Fan was puzzled right now. Weren't all the secret grounds in the ancient saint world controlled by the ancient race? How was there something like this out there? At the same time, Lin Fan was thoroughly impressed with the trusting nature of Fairy Hong Yun. She must possess some form of impossible luck for her to be able to survive this long in this world without a single bit of cautiousness. Dear gentleman, you're laughing at how Hong Yun does not have a single shred of cautiousness in her heart, right? Just as Lin Fan was thinking about everything, Fairy Hong Yun spoke up. Ah, no, of course not. How could that be? Lin Fan's face changed immediately as he replied in an upright manner, as though he was someone of immaculate morals. It's all right, kind gentleman. Hong Yun has had this special sense since she was young. Even though Hong Yun can sense that you've got a ferocious aura around you, I know that you would only employ that aura to kill off the ancient race beings. As such, Hong Yun knows that you're a good person, Hong Yun replied. Lin Fan was stunned. To think that there could be someone in this world who could sense out good and bad people. However, to Lin Fan, the difference between good and bad people lied in their ideals and beliefs. Because of that, their motives were naturally different as well. Coming from another angle, be it good or bad people, everyone was just trying to craft out a better life for themselves. All right then. But, you don't have to continue referring to me as a gentleman. It's fine to just call me Lin Fan, Lin Fan continued. All right, then please just refer to me as Hong Yun, gentleman. Fairy Hong Yun smiled. Hong Yun, Lin Fan, haha. Looking at one another in the eye, the both of them burst out into laughter. There are a total of 8 of these talisman papers. I'm only holding on to one of them. The others are with my sect members. I wonder if they've discovered the fire-water secret ground yet. Fairy Hong Yun pondered. Fire-water secret ground, that's right. That's the burial ground for the fire-water emperor. A long time ago, the fire-water emperor was a heaven-defying powerful being. He was an unparalleled fighter who was able to wield the true 2 great powers of fire and water. He eventually died within the heaven and earth in a seated position, leaving this burial ground behind. Even the ancient race themselves don't know about this place. Fairy Hong Yun explained. The moment Lin Fan heard the 4 words, heaven-defying powerful being, his interest was piqued immediately. Stuff like secret grounds and whatnot was what Lin Fan enjoyed the most. Especially when they were the burial grounds of a heaven-defying powerful being. However, he did not know what cultivation state this fire-water emperor was at, nor did he know of the sort of treasures that were hidden within this secret ground. None. Let's head there together, shall we? If we've got one more person entering the fire-water secret ground with us, we'll have one more pair of hands to help out everyone, Fairy Hong Yun invited. That doesn't sound like it'll be really appropriate, does it? Of course, Lin Fan was raring to go right now. However, if he were to just follow them in just like this, wouldn't her sect members be filled with objections? It's all right. The secret ground is immensely huge, with countless treasures. Everything depends on one's affinity and encounters. Some people could search the entire secret grounds and meet 0 encounters, only to return empty-handed. On the other side, those who could meet with encounters would find treasures even if they were standing still on a spot. Therefore, personally, I do not subscribe to such biases. It's just that. Fairy Hong Yun smiled. However, her sect members might not think in the same manner as her. Looking at Fairy Hong Yun, Lin Fan was elated as well. This was a really sensible way of thinking. Without further formalities, Lin Fan headed into the distance with Fairy Hong Yun. Fire-water secret grounds, fire-water emperor. Just the names alone were enough for Lin Fan to tell of their grandiose. He could only hope that anything awaiting him within wouldn't be a disappointment. At the same time, he wondered about the number of people from Fairy Hong Yun's sect that would arrive. If there were too many of them, there could be some trouble. After all, being the lone outsider, he would definitely be ostracized no matter what. Chapter 560 Chapter 560, The Coquettish King Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ They flew for the entire journey. Fairy Hong Yun's speed was pretty slow. However, noticing how energetically she was leading the way, Lin Fan did not disturb her at all. At this moment, Lin Fan was busy communicating with the Thunder Trainer King. To his surprise, the Thunder Trainer King was extremely relaxed at this moment. He was busy explaining the great wisdom of life to those toddlers he had trained. Hand over Wan Wujin's ultimate move, Lin Fan was thoroughly exasperated with the Thunder Trainer King. To think that this fellow would grow to this extent. And this was all thanks to the system. The system bore a consciousness for all of these skills. Not only that, all of these consciousnesses were really sly and crafty. Previously, you wouldn't even let me toy with the Sovereign King Wei for a move or two, even though it was said that the Thunder Trainer King had obtained a Bodhisattva discipline. He didn't have any holy disposition in the face of Lin Fan. Right now, he was more like a brat that was fuming over not getting what he wanted. Holy F***ck. This little shit's bearing grudges now. Lin Fan was thoroughly speechless right now. To think that the Thunder Trainer King would keep the grudge from back then up till now. Sovereign King Wei was such a horrifying existence. How would Lin Fan dare to take a chance with that? If he were to suddenly retaliate in the midst of training and went straight for his throat, he would have been the one responsible for his own death due to his arrogance. Be good now and hand over that ultimate move to me, Lin Fan replied in a nice tone. No. Since you're selfish against me, I'll be selfish against you too. The Thunder Trainer King tossed down his head. This guy's getting out of hand, Lin Fan thought in his heart, thoroughly helpless by now. This was a good case of spare the rod, spoil the child, be obedient now and hand it over. I promise that if I meet with a similar type in the future, I'll definitely let you train him up, Lin Fan continued, somewhat impatient now. No, I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. Your king here doesn't trust in your words at all." The Thunder Trainer King shook his head and acted coquettishly. At this moment, Lin Fan couldn't bear with it any longer. This little brat was going off the hooks right now. "Do you believe me if I say that I'll hang you up to whip if you don't hand it over right now?" Lin Fan was angered right now. This Thunder Trainer King was going overboard right now. To think that he would even dare to bargain with Lin Fan and flirt coquettishly. The little bald-headed pervert he was, and he wanted to act bullsh*t before yours truly? As though he was scared silly by Lin Fan, that solemn and holy expression of the Thunder Trainer King disappeared immediately. Instantly, those big, round eyes welled up with tears as he suddenly broke into a bawl. "Boo-hoo. You've scared me. I'm never ever going to bother with you ever again." Coiling his thunder whip around his body, the Thunder Trainer King tossed a secret book over to Lin Fan before running off to his academy while twerking his bum. Holy f***ck, Lin Fan could take it no longer. To think that a little bald-headed pervert, whose only passion came from training others, would have such a side to him. Holding on to this move that he had been coveting for a long time now, a grin curled up on Lin Fan's lips. HMPH, small time. Bargain with me? If I'm not stern with him, he'll definitely go over my head one day. Boo-hoo. You suck. I'm going to have to go train them up to soothe my heart now. A sorrowful voice came out of those tightly shut doors of the Thunder Trainer King's Academy of Electroconvulsive Therapy. Lin Fan sniggered gently, disregarding him entirely. Ding, congratulations on discovering skill, bare nudeness. Learn. Lin Fan did not hesitate at all. After all, he was the only one suitable to keep such an immoral and savage skill guarded from the rest of the world. There was no way he could let this skill out loose to harm the masses. As a highly responsible man, this was naturally the task that he had to bear. Even though Lin Fan had learned this skill, it was still at a pretty low level, because he had never used it before. As such, its power level was pretty low too. However, Lin Fan believed that he could definitely glorify this skill one day with his hard work and efforts. When he turned around to look at Fairy Hong Yun, a thought ran through his head. However, he dismissed it almost immediately. Beastly. That was way too beastly. How could he bear such immoral thoughts? "We'll arrive at the location in half a day's time," Fairy Hong Yun informed him. "All right." Lin Fan nodded his head. Initially, he wanted to fly even faster than this. However, this was the first time they were meeting with one another, and weren't too familiar just yet. If he were to drag her along on a hasty flight right after meeting her, he might cause her to feel irritated, thinking that he was belittling her. Therefore, Lin Fan did not rush at all and followed her snail speed. Half a day later. "We're here. It's right ahead." Just as Lin Fan was about to fall asleep, Fairy Hong Yun's voice rang out. He raised his head, wondering where they had flown to. However, the sight before him did leave Lin Fan somewhat bewildered. Within the skies, which were red and blue, there existed this long and endless river that was rumbling while emitting off a strange aura. Back when I was here previously, it wasn't like this. How did things change to this? Fairy Hong Yun's brows were creased, unable to comprehend the changes before her. Lin Fan's face focused up slightly as he made preparations to face a battle. Since Fairy Hong Yun had said that there was a change, something must have happened. After all, secret grounds were no ordinary places. It was hard to say whether any situation was unfolding nearby. Hold up. Just as Fairy Hong Yun was ready to dart forth, Lin Fan held her back with a single hand. Fairy Hong Yun's hands were smooth and tender, as though there were no bones in them. However, at this moment, Lin Fan could not be bothered with such things. Something was amiss up ahead. It's the ancient race. The moment she caught sight of what was happening, Fairy Hong Yun's face changed as she tensed up. Up in the distance, a group of ancient race beings was gathered. Entering that blurry light screen, they disappeared from the face of the world. On the ground up ahead were many corpses lying around. There were some from the ancient race, and some from other races. Seems like the ancient race has discovered this secret ground too, Lin Fan remarked. How could it be? Fairy Hong Yun's face was stunned, apparently in disbelief. After the ancient race beings entered the light screen, Lin Fan brought Fairy Hong Yun with her to their intended destination from earlier on. Evidently, a battle had broken out here. However, this battle shouldn't have lasted for a long time. It was clear that the ancient race beings must have followed Fairy Hong Yun's sect members tightly right after they entered the place. Junior brothers, junior sisters. Looking at the corpses around her, Fairy Hong Yun's face was really pale as her heart thumped heavily. After all, her junior brothers and junior sisters were still fine and dandy earlier on. Looking at their cold, lifeless corpses lying around, this was a really severe blow to her mentally. "Are your sect members all here?" Lin Fan asked. "No, my senior sisters and senior brothers are not here. This time around, there were a total of 30 of us." Fairy Hong Yun replied. Lin Fan made a quick count. There were only 6 corpses here. If that were the case, the rest of them must be within that secret ground. Suddenly, Lin Fan's brows twitched. He could sense the aura of the ancient race from a distance. "Let's go in first. There are more ancient race beings arriving." Pulling onto Fairy Hong Yun, the both of them leapt into the blurry light screen and disappeared from the world as well. P-show. P-show. Suddenly, a few figures appeared right where Lin Fan was just seconds earlier. There were 3 of them. Seems like the signal was transmitted from over here. This is a new secret ground. All those beings from the other races must have already entered within. "Let us chase after them," one of the ancient race beings commented. They had received the signal from their fellow ancient race beings to find out about this secret ground. Therefore, they headed right here without any hesitation at all. Soon after them, a gigantic army of ancient race beings would head over to occupy and gain control over this secret ground, so that no other beings of the thousands of races would be able to enter. With that, those 3 ancient race beings entered the fire-water secret grounds as well. Right after the 3 of them entered, the void vibrated gently as yet another group of figures appeared. These figures were not of the ancient race, but of the other races. To think that this would be the secret ground that the beings of the cloud race had been searching for. "Let's go in and seek the treasures. Be it ancient race beings or those of the cloud race, we'll kill anyone we meet."